So guys, now we continue to the second part of our video. And as promised, we'll be opening the second mystery booster box. But before that, we must not forget to thank those people that is a part of making this video possible. For our second booster or mystery booster box, we would like to thank Mr. J.R. Shan Korean of Lisa and Hikaru Hobby Shop, and also Mr. Mark Vincent Caceres for keeping this box with him while I was away. And lastly, before I'm about to open the box and see what's inside, we would like also to thank Mr. Jonel Dumlao of Ordo Online Hobby Shop or Card Shop for providing us with our trusty sleeve. So the one I'm using is the classic 100 resealable sleeve. This is my first time also using this one, and it was already been delayed to thank him for this, because this is also the one we are using currently, but this is also my first time. I'm using from way back KMC Perfect Fit and KMC Perfect Hard, but I noticed that this one could protect our cards from all sides. So even though it's that thick compared to the KMC Perfect Hard, but still the purpose of protecting all sides of the cards from creases and any damage that may occur to it is a lot to consider. So again, thank you for those people for making this video possible. Now we'll just set this aside and we will start. And also we already have our sleeves here, so at least if we have later notable cards or expensive cards that we will be pulling, at least they will be protected immediately. So this will be our second and last part of the video for the mystery boosters. Although I still have some mystery booster boxes there, but I think I will just keep them for maybe for future selling or as a display. So we will not do what we did from the first video. We will not keep one pack here, because we will just keep one pack in every set, not in every box that we are opening. And also we will not keep one empty pack for our cash collection. We will go directly in opening each pack as the usual people doing. So we'll start now. I think we don't have any need for scissor anymore, because we will just open the pack at the back. So this is our first pack. Again, I think mystery booster boxes contains 24 packs, and each pack has a chance to get a 2 rares or mythic, not including the foil ones. So the foil ones we can get rare or mythic also, same as in the first video that we got some cool mythic and rares. So we'll start. A Yardle, Luton of Orborg. I don't remember having this in my collection, so maybe this is a good one to add into our collection of legendaries. Then our rare is a chromatic lantern, not bad. So this is widely used in each EDH deck, especially those multicolor ones. No need for this one in the monocolor. And our foil, oh wait, we need to read this one because this one is the rare one. So chromatic lantern is a 3-2 cast artifact that gives our lands the ability to produce any color of mana. Then we can also tap this one to add any color of mana to our mana pool. So says here, by guild tradition, any puddle of multicolored light on the cobblestones can serve as neutral ground. There's a rare. Our first rare, the box. And our mythic is, no, it's not mythic, but our foil is a rare foil. So it's Amulet of Vigor, widely used in the Titan gold decks from Modern. So Amulet of Vigor is a 1 to cast artifact, generic only. So whenever a permanent enters the battlefield, tap and under your control, untap it. So usually shock lands, you don't need to pay 2 life to untap it, and other cards that comes into play tap. So after years of study, I've learned an important lesson. The relics we watch may be watching us back. This one was said by Unwound the Rune Sage. There you go. So this is our first rare. So how we will do that? Like this, same as from a while ago. So our next pack is Glaring Aegis, and this will be our first word, Aegis. So Glaring Aegis is a 1 to cast enchantment aura, 1 for white. So enchant creature. So when this enters the battlefield, we tap target creature and opponent controls. And enchanted creature get +1, +3. There you go. Then we have our first rare of the pack. It's a Oracle of Nectars. So Oracle of Nectars is a 3 to cast 2/2 creature elf cleric. So 2 generic and 1 of either celestial color. So either white or green. So it has, we pay X and we tap this one and we gain X life. Flavor text says, when elves find a fount of beauty, they protect it. Where there is beauty, there is hope. There. Then our next rare is a mythic. So we got the first mythic of the box, Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. This one will be a good addition to our Planeswalker collection because I don't have this copy of Voice of Zendikar yet. So Nissa, Voice of Zendikar is a 3 to cast, 3 loyalty Planeswalker Nissa, or legendary Planeswalker. So 1 generic and 2 green. Its +1 is put a 0/1 green plant creature token onto the battlefield. Then its -2, put a +1/+1 on each creature control. So good one also for those token creator decks. Then its ultimate is -7, you gain X life. Then draw X cards, where X is the number of lands we control. There. The second mythic, or the first mythic of our box. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is our first mythic of the box, I think. Then our foil is another rare. So that was a 3 rare mythic pack. Our foil rare is the Fairy's Puzzle Box. It's a 4 to cast artifact that at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player puts the cards in his or her library, or her hand rather, on the bottom of his or her library in any order. Then draws that many cards. So like replacing the cards you have. Then there's open and close parenthesis here that says that player draws his or hand card for the turn first. So when we have 4 cards our hand, then we go to our draw step, becomes 5. Those 5 cards will be replaced with new 5 cards from the library. There, as what I understand with this one. So that's our second also foil rare. Then we have our rare is All is Dust. A 7 to cast tribal sorcery Eldrazi. So 7 generic only. This is a colorless spell. So each player sacrifice all colored permanents he or she controls. Flavor text says by Javad Nasrin Ondu Relic Hunter, the emergence of the Eldrazi isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as you've already lived a fulfilling and complete life without regrets. There. Then our foil is a Scrib Ranger. Bulwark Giant, and I think this will be our second word, Bulwark. So Bulwark Giant is a 6 to cast 3/6 creature giant soldier. So 5 generic and 1 white. So when it enters the battlefield, we gain 5 life. That's simple. Gideon Zura says here, where did she come from? More importantly, are there more like her? There. That's our second word. Bulwark. A rough Capashan. Ship's Mage. I think I still don't have this one for my collection, so it's a good addition also. In our rare, here is a Champion of the Parish. So Champion of the Parish is a 1-2 cast, 1/1 creature human soldier. Can be played only by 1 white mana. So whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, we put a +1/+1 counter on this one. So very good for those modern human deck or commander that tribal humans. So it says here, I stand for every cobbler, tanner, and fool in this town, and they stand for me. So he was the one, I think, who said this. Next, our foil is a Goblin Bushwalker. So then our rare is a Wargate, the first rare of the pack. So Wargate is a 3 to cast plus X sorcery spell. So we can pay X for with how many manas we have. Then each color of the band color. So 1 green, 1 white, and 1 blue. Ability says, search your library for a permanent card, convert its mana cost X or less, put it into play, then shuffle your library. Then flavor text says here, bank mages still call to the heavens for aid, but angels are not the only ones who answer. So here, it's not an angel, it's a Sphinx that came. Then our next rare is a Curse of Kupix, good pull, usually being used in S3 deck or other green affiliated enchantment based decks in Commander. So Curse of Kupix is a 2 to cast 2 for enchantment creature center. Then 1 generic only and 2 green. So we play with our top of the library revealed. Then if it is a land card, we can play the top card. Then whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 1 life. So very good also to those ramp decks like Omnath, any version of Omnath. Then we have our foil, again a rare. So it's a Norn's Annex, a 5 to cast artifact. So 3 generic and 2 Phyrexian mana of white. So either we pay 2 white or we pay 2 life and 1 white or 4 life. So there, just need to focus our camera. So here it says, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays white Phyrexian mana for each of those creatures, or for each of those creatures. There you go. Third foil also, or third rare foil of the box. And a rare, a Greater Gargadon. So Greater Gargadon is a 10 to cast 9/7 creature beast. So 9 generic and 1 red, which has suspend 10. That can be paid only with 1 red. So every time we sacrifice an artifact, or we can sacrifice an artifact, creature or land to remove a time counter from Greater Gargadon. So we can only also do this one when it is suspended. There you go, a big beast. Next rare is a mythic, so Queen Marchesa, which is, I think we can have the chance to pull in the Commander Legends box, but nonetheless this one is a mythic and a good pull here. So Queen Marchesa is a 4 to cast 3/3 legendary creature human assassin. So 1 generic and 1 of each color of the Mardu tribe. So 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black. So she has that touch and haste. Also, when she enters the battlefield, we became the monarch. or we became a queen. So at the beginning of also of our upkeep, if an opponent is the monarch, put a +1/+1 black assassin creature token with that touch and haste onto the battlefield. There you go. Queen Marchesa. As of now, I don't have still the copy of this one, so for the meantime, I think we can put in our binder for the collection of or legendary collection of us. Then we just replace her if we get or pull a H foil from the Commander Legends. Then our foil is a rare one again. So Allosaurus Riders. Allosaurus Rider is a 7 to cast 1 plus star in each of power and toughness. It's also a creature, elf warrior. So we can remove 2 green cards instead of paying this mana cost. So mana cost is 5 generic and 2 green. And Allosaurus Rider's power and toughness are each equal to 1 plus the number of our lands. There you go. This one was cheap from way back, but became slightly expensive when a deck emerged. There, we already have 4 rare foils. A Wrench Mind, also our third word, Wrench. So Wrench Mind is a 2 to cast sorcery, 2 black. Target player discard 2 cards unless he or she discards an artifact card. Paper text says, what is the sound of one head snapping? So this is our third word, wrench. A two-headed giant. So two-headed giant is a 4 to cast for 4 creature giant warrior. So 2 generic and 2 red. Also, when it attacks, we flip 2 coins. Then if both coins come up heads, it gains double strike until end of turn. If both coins come up tails, it gains menace until end of turn. So Text says here, he watches the pass in both directions and all must pay his toll. Then lastly, our foil is a not in this world, a colorless uncommon. Then we have a mythic, a Dorothy Scraps Savant, and also maybe, if I'm not mistaken, this is our fourth word. So Dorothy Scraps Savant. So the word is savant or savant in other anyhow you pronounce it. So it's a 4 to cast, 3 loyalty, legendary planeswalker, Dorothy. So 3 generic and 1 red. So its +2 is discard up to 2 cards. Then draw that many cards. And its -2 is sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then the ultimate is -10. We get an emblem that says whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, we return it to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. So this can also be our commander. So this is started the Planeswalker commander. Before Jessica and Tevershat was introduced to us in Commander Legends. And also those 2 colored or 3 colored planeswalkers that can be commander in the Precon commander decks. There you go, our mythic. And our foil is another mythic, a Maelstrom Nexus. So it's an enchantment that can be paid with or need to be paid with 1 of each color. So 5 to cast. So the first spell we play, each turn has cascade. So it's very good, especially now in Commander Legend that a lot of cascade cards emerged. So there you go, Maelstrom Nexus. On to the next pack. a Juicy Apprentice that flip into Tomoya, the receiver. This is our first rare. So I already have this one in my collection. We'll just read this one for the sake that it's rare. So Juicy Apprentice is a 2 to cast 1/2 human wizard creature. So it has, so we can pay this one with 1 generic and 1 blue only. So it has pay 3, 2 generic and 1 blue, and tap this one to draw a card. Then if we have 9 or more cards in our hand, we flip this Juicy Apprentice into Tomoya the Revealer. So Tomoya the Revealer is a legendary creature human wizard, a 2/3. So we pay 5, 3 generic and 2 blue, and tap it. So target player draws X cards, where X is the number of cards in our hand. So there we go, our first rare of the pack. And our next rare is Living Death. Living Death is a 5 to cast sorcery, 3 generic and 2 black, that says each player exiles all creature cards from his or her graveyard, then sacrifice all creature he or she controls, and puts all cards he or she exiled this way onto the battle. So really good also for graveyard reformation cards like Moldrota, especially also to Marion of the Clan, Nelthos. Then our foil is Drug Skull Captain, the Lord of the Spirits. Our fourth word, so Thrumming. So Thrumming Bird is a 2 to cast 1/1 creature bird horror. So 1 generic and 1 blue. It has flying, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we proliferate. So we may choose any number of permanents or players that has counters, then we add another counter on them for each counter they have. So for example, one permanent has vigilance counter and +1/+1 counter. We add each, so that permanents will get 1 vigilance and 1 +1/+1 counter. So there you go. This is our fourth word, Thrumming. Our rare is a Mirror Entity. So Mirror Entity is a 3 to cast 1/1 creature shapeshifter. So 2 generic and 1 white. So this has changing ability, which means it is a every creature type. Then we may pay X. Then until end of turn, creatures we control have base power and toughness equal to how much we paid, and they all gain all creature types. So flavor text says, unaware of Plural's diversity, it sees only itself, reflected 1,000 times over. There you go. Then our foil is another rare. So Alchemist Refuge, a rare land. It gives us generic mana only, or colorless mana. The updated Oracle. So we can pay semi-color, so 1 blue and 1 green. Then tap this one. So we can cast any non-land cards as though they are flash. There. So Persecuted Alchemist fled deep into Kessig's wilds, seeking solitude to continue their ghoulish craft. There. And our rare is a Spawning Grounds. So Spawning Grounds is a 8 to cast enchantment aura. So 6 generic and 2 green. This can only enchant land. So enchanted land has top, create a 5/5 green beast creature token with trample. So flavor text says here, it's the only water source in miles of desert, but the local tribes avoid it at all costs. Then our foil is another rare. So it's the Leveler. So Leveler is a 5 to cast artifact creature, 10/10. So when Leveler, so only generic, any color of this one. So when it comes into play, we remove our library from the game. Then Cybertext says here, when or once a century, the levelers rip through every corner of Mirrodin, obeying the commands of an unseen master. There you go. Then our rare is a Torment of Hellfire. Very good to those mono black EDH decks, or even not mono black. So Torment of Hellfire is a X 2 black sorcery spell that says repeat the following process X times. So equal to how much we pay for the X. So each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices an unland permanent or discard a card. Then Nicole Bola says here, your god Pharaoh has arrived. There. Then we have our foil. It's just a Sakura Tribe Scout. So also good for Snake Tribal decks. And our rare is a Tile Rand Sky Summoner. We already have this one, so we will not be including him in the binder. So Tile Rand Sky Summoner is a 4 to cast 2 legendary creature Merfolk Wizard. So 2 generic and 2 blue. So whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we create a 2/2 blue dry creature token with flying. It says here, he said the seas are vast, but the skies are even more so. Why be content with one kingdom when I can rule them both? So this one is good also for those control decks, especially those focused in the blue color. There. And our foil is a Muradin Score. Then we have our only rare, a Mycoloth. So Mycoloth is a 5 to cast 4/4 creature fungus. So 3 generic and 2 green. So it has Devour 2. So when this enters the battlefield, we can sacrifice any number of creatures. Then this creature enters the battlefield with twice that many +1/+1 counters on it. Then at the beginning of our upkeep, we create 1/1 green sapling creature token for each of the +1/+1 counter on Mycoloth. There. Then our foil is another rare and a good inclusion to our legendary creature collection. So it's Reaper King. So Reaper King is a 10 or 5 to cast, depends on how you see it. I'm not too sure of this mana cost, how they determine this total mana cost of the Reaper King. So let's skip that. So Reaper King is a 6/6 legendary artifact creature scarecrow. So can be paid with either 2 generic mana of each or each color. So the 5 colors. Then says here, other scarecrow creatures you control get +1/+1. Then whenever another scarecrow comes into play under your control, destroy target permanent. So it says here, it's harvest time. So this is a good inclusion because I also ordered the Secret Lair single with the different art of the Reaper King. At least it will go well there. There you go. And our rare is Acrowan Horse, not a good pull. So Acrowan Horse is a 4 to cast artifact creature horse 0/4. So it has defender. Then when it enters the battlefield, an opponent gains control of it. Then at the beginning of our upkeep, each opponent or beginning of the upkeep of the one who controls this one, then each opponent creates a +1/+1 or 1/1 rather white soldier creature token. There. Their version of that wooden horse in the Greek history or Roman history. I'm not too sure. And our foil is a culret knife. And I think we have a few more packs here. I think 9 packs more. So we are about to end. And we are still looking for our elusive last word. Then our rare is a reality scrambler. So it's a 4 to cast sorcery. 2 generic and 2 red. Just being printed I think a year ago. So it says here, put target permanently on the bottom of your library. Then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card that shares a card type with that permanent. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it has also retrace. So retrace ability is you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying its mana cost. So this one is somewhat like a polymorph. There you go. And our rare is another red. And a rare also. So it's Stigma Lasher. So Stigma Lasher is a 2 to cast 2/2 creature elemental shaman. So 2 red. So it has Wither. So this one deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters to creatures. Then when this one deals damage to a player, that player can't gain life for the rest of the game. There. It says here, the Extinguisher's curse lasted long after her departure. Good card also. Have Ephemerate. I think this will be our last word. Ephemerate. So Ephemerate, or I think this one came from the word or the root word ephemeral, or ephemeral, like that. So Ephemerate is a 1 to cast instant, so will be paid only with 1 white. Then exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it's like flicker only. Then it has rebound. So if we cast this spell from our hand, we can exile this one after it resolves. Then at the beginning of our next upkeep, we can cast this one again without paying its mana cost. I'm not too sure where the card after goes, but maybe it's already exiled because it's already been exiled. Yeah, just correct me in the comments. What do you think? Where do you think the card after the rebound ability resolved? Yeah, that's our last word, or the 5th word, Ephemerate or Ephemeral. Then our rare is Cauldron of Souls. So Cauldron of Souls is a 5 to cast artifact that can be paid with 5 generic mana. So it says here, tap, then choose any number of target creatures. Those creatures will gain persist until end of turn. So if they will die, if they don't have any -1/-1 counters, we can return those creatures and put a -1/-1 counters to them. And then our rare is another addition to our collection. So we have a double legendary rare foil, a Rune Tail Kitsune Ascendant, a 3 to cast 2/2 legendary creature Fox Monk. So 2 generic and 1 white. So when we have 30 or more life, we can flip Rune Tail Kitsune Ascendant. So it will flip automatically in commander decks or commander plays. So the flip side is Rune Tail's Essence. It's a legendary enchantment. So it says here, we prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures we control. So this one will be a good addition to our collection also. There. Then our rare is a Release the Gremlin. Not too good. It's a bulk rare. So this Release the Gremlin is a XX red sorcery spell. So ability says destroy X. So target artifacts, then create X 2/2 red gremlin creature tokens. Then PNLR says here, being an inventor means knowing how to use the tools of the hand to make something great or to bring it down. There you go. And our foil is another good addition to our legendary creature collection. So Patron of the Moon. Patron of the Moon is a 7 to cast 5/4 legendary creature spirit. So 5 generic and 2 blue. So it has Moonfolk offering. So this one has offering ability from the Betrayers of Kamigawa Black. So it says here, you may play this card any time. You could play an instant by sacrificing a Moonfolk, paying the difference in mana cost between this and the sacrifice Moonfolk. Mana cost includes color. So this is one of these cycle offering cards in Betrayers of Kamigawa. So they have also the Patron of the Orochi for the snake, also in Izumi for the black rats, and I forgot the others, but they have 5 of this one of each colors. So this card also has flying, and we can pay 1 any number of times if we want to put up to 2 land cards from our hand into play tap. So unconventional what we call this one, ramp or land ramp for the blue. So good addition to our collection also. Then we have a rare Eldritch Evolution. Not that good, but not that bad either. So Eldritch Evolution is a 2 to cast sorcery spell, 1 generic and 2 green. So as an additional cost to cast this one, we need to sacrifice a creature. So we search our library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, where X is 2 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. Then we put that one into the battlefield. Then we exile this card. There. Lastly, we have our foil. It's a spike feeder only, a time shifted version. So now we reach our 5 packs remaining, including this that I'm holding. Then our rare is a Memory Erosion. So good for mill decks, EDH, especially that Bruvac. The Grandiloquent is already around. So Memory Erosion is a 2 to cast enchantment, 1 generic and 2 blue. So whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Then says here, by Lotus of the Ethersworn, the filigree texts do not compel you to act in accordance with their precepts. They only specify the consequences should you fail. There we go. Then we have a foil Lightning Storm. So we go on to our 4th pack. So we have 4 more remainings, including 3 ones in the box and 1 this. Our rare is Colaghan's Command. So this is a good one. So this is our second Colaghan's Command. We get also 1 Colaghan's Command from our first box. So I think we don't need to now for the sake of this is where we just again tell I forgot if I already mentioned this, but we'll just tell now. So Kulag Hans command, did I get one? I remember I get one from the first box, but I don't know. I'm now questioning my memory. So Kulag Hans command is a 3 to cast instant card. So one generic and one combination of Akdos. So one red and one black. So it has 2 abilities, so we can choose one. Or 3 or 4 abilities rather, so we can choose 2. So either we return target creature card from our graveyard to our hand, or we target a player to discard 1 card. Then we can destroy a target artifact, and the last one is it can deal 2 damage to, I think this one's updated already, to any target. There. Now our foil is Able Dugan Rage only. So last 3 packs. So we are nearing our end. But our rare is a Mindering Tower Shell. So another bulk rare. So Mindering Tower Shell is a 5 to cast 5/9 creature turtle. 3 generic and 2 green. So it has Island Walk also. It will be unblockable or can't be blocked if defending opponent has a island. So when this one attacks, we can exile it, then we return this one to the battlefield under our control, tap and attacking at the beginning of the declare attack step on our next turn. So this one also has the alternate version of black. I think the presumed life of this turtle, it became a zombie already. I think in the Dragons of Tarkir. Yeah. So our foil is another Sakura Tribe Scout. So last 2 packs. This one is our second to the last pack. And a new mythic, a good addition to our legendary Planeswalker collection. So I don't have yet this Sorin Markov art, so this one is a good addition to my collection. So Sorin Markov is a 6 to cast 4 loyalty counter legendary Planeswalker Sorin. So 3 generic and 3 black mana. So its +2 is Sorin Markov deals 2 damage target creature or play and you gain 2 life. So this one is like the Sorin's Thirst. Then it has also the -3 ability, target opponent's life total becomes 10. I think this one is same ability with a red rare card with printed in the Kamigawa block. I'm not sure if which Kamigawa block is that. And its ultimate is a -7, so we control target players next turn. So this one is really good addition to our legendary Planeswalker collection. Then our second rare or mythic is a Felidar Sovereign. So Felidar Sovereign is a 6 to cast 4/6 creature cat beast, 4 generic and 2 white. So it has vigilance and lifelink. Then at the beginning of our upkeep, if we control 40 or more life, we win the game. So it would possibly net us a 1 turn win or a next turn win in EDH. There you go. Then says here, it surveys the withering landscape, waiting for a victory only it can see. There you go. And finally, our foil is another rare, a Panglacial or Panglacial Worm. So it's a 7 to cast 9/5 creature worm. 5 generic and 2 green. It has trample also. Then ability is while we are searching our library, we can play Panglacial Worm from our library. Then flavor text is said by Ibhap Heart, Goblin Tactician. Step lightly and we might be able to use it as a bridge. There you go. So before we open our last pack, we have a lot of rare foils that we pulled. Now we go into our last pack. Another mythic. So we have Kargan Dragon Lord. So Kargan Dragon Lord is a 2-2 cast, 2-2 for the beginning. Creature, human warrior. So it has level up. So all this one is we can pay both red mana. Then level up is 1 red mana cost to. So we can put a level up counter when we pay 1. So if it already reach 4 to 7, level 4 to 7, it will have flying and it will become a 4-4 creature. Then if it will reach the level 8 or more, this will have flying and trample and it will become 8-8-8. So it will become the human 2-2, it will become the dragon. So it has also the fire breathing ability. So pay 1 red, then it will get a +1/+0 until end of turn. There. So after we reveal all of these cards, we will track how many mythics we already have. So the last rare we have here is Chaos Warp. So good one also for commander, but although it's not that powerful anymore because now opponent can choose to exile their commander to the commander zone if we target it with this one. So Chaos Warp is a 3-2 cast instant, 2 generic and 1 red that says the owner of target permanent shuffles it into his or her library, then reveals the top card of his or her library. If it's a permanent card, he or she puts it into the battlefield. So somewhat also a polymorph. So lastly, we have our foil, just a Hornet's Sting. So now I think we can set this one aside and check. Mythic, did we got? So we got here a Kargan Dragon Lord. We just need to set that one aside, the box. So we have Kargan Dragon Lord here. Then we have Sorin Marco. So I didn't do this from our first video, but at least here we can check, because the first video also we keep one pack close. So it's not accurate also. So we have here Dorothy, our third mythic. Our fourth mythic is Queen Marchesa. Then we have our third Planeswalker, Nisa Voice and Zendikar. So we have in total 4 mythics. So thanks again joining this unboxing.